Okay, so let's have a chat about sleep, because sleep is such a critical factor when it comes to andropause and men's health. And if you're not sleeping well, you're going to have issues with your health. And it's not something that comes about from not sleeping for 6 months or a year. Just one night's bad sleep is going to impact on your health. That's how important it is. But if you then do compound that with not sleeping well for 6 months to a year to 10 years, then these are really serious implications for your health and well-being. So what happens is, and they've done studies on this with army people, they call it battle readiness, and just restricting someone's sleep after 3 days, their battle readiness reduces to only 25%, whereas if you get a good night's sleep, it's at 100%. So your body, all these different functions that occur in terms of our blood sugar levels, in terms of our adrenaline levels, in terms of our ability to concentrate, our energy levels, all directly associated with sleep. But it's not just about getting that 8 hours sleep. That quality of sleep is really, really key. And the most important thing to understand with sleep is it's not just what you do when you get into bed, although that is important. It's what you do through your entire day. And sleep is a symptom of your overall health, and it's a symptom of what you've done in that day. So let's have a look at some of those things that you're probably doing now that's impacting on your sleep. So the first one is stress. And it's not just about stressing before bed or releasing that stress, although that's important. It's that stress through the day. Stress is accumulative. And when you're stressed, your nervous system is too active. Your sympathetic nervous system, we've got two nervous systems. One's your sympathetic, one is your parasympathetic. And the sympathetic one is active when we're stressed. And we need that to a certain degree during the day. You know, we need it to work, we need it to function, we need it to exercise. But you can keep a lid on that. And I check it through my biometrics, either through a Whoop or through your Garmin watches. You can see the impact of stress on your body. And if when you wake up first thing in the morning, you're starting to think about work, and then you get to work and then you're having 2 or 3 coffees and coffees in the afternoon, and then everything gets to you during the day. This is really, really bad for sleep. So the first thing to do with that is to practice a certain degree of mindfulness, and your breath, how you breathe, can influence and be influenced by stress levels. So by being a little bit more mindful of your breath, and when you find yourself stressed, is taking yourself away and doing some breathwork exercises. That's really, really important. And just mentally being aware of what is stress doing to me at any one point in the day. And if you catch yourself, might be at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, going, oh, I'm really stressed, step out, go for a walk, do whatever you can do to release that stress, because stress is accumulative. And it's often all those little things that happen during the day that accumulate to get your nervous system into a stressful state. But if you can constantly be releasing that through mindfulness, breath work, exercise, getting out into nature, all these things are really important. The second thing with that is what you're eating. And a good example actually last night is I went and had some Thai food, and I slept terribly because there was just probably MSG in there. There was something in there that irritated my nervous system. But a lot of foods can irritate our nervous system, particularly sugar. But there's a lot of additives in foods that we eat, and the more processed your food, the more it's going to irritate your nervous system. So a lot of people don't even relate food to how you sleep, but it's really important. And when you do a cleansing diet or detox diet or fasting, you'll find you sleep really, really well because you've got rid of all those dietary stimulants out of your body. Then you've, of course, got liquid stimulants. So coffee and all these energy drinks, the worst thing you can be doing in terms of you're just layering on top of that stress that's happening. And you really cannot have coffee or any stimulants after 12 o'clock because it's going to remain in your system and you're not going to sleep well. You might be able to get to sleep, but then you're typically waking up between 1 and 3 in the morning. Another reason why you wake up between 1 and 3 in the morning is your blood sugar levels. And at this age, we tend to become more insulin resistant. So what happens is the sugar we're having or the carbohydrate, the body doesn't use it as well as it used to. So if you're having something sweet or alcohol in the second half of the day, in particular, let's say you have dinner late and then you have something sweet, dessert, or after that, then you'll go to sleep, but then you wake up because you get a blood sugar drop, and the body will wake itself up because your blood sugar level is dropping. So it's really important to eat early, eat clean, and avoid sugar if you want to sleep well. Exercise is another really important one. You have to physically exhaust yourself. And if you're sitting on your bum all day in an office, then you're mentally overstimulating yourself, but physically we've got to move, and our bodies were meant to move. And they say that sitting down all day is equivalent to smoking. So you've got to move that body, and you've got to find time in your day to exercise or do something, or at least every other day is what I tend to do. Is if I exercise every other day, it's enough for me to be able to be physically fatigued enough to sleep deeply. And that's what we're trying to do here. Is deep sleep is critically important, because there's actually a system in our brain called the glymphatic system, and it only works when we sleep, and it's designed to cleanse our brain and clear our cerebral spinal fluid, and it only works when we sleep. All right. So, but it only really works well when we get into these deep sleep cycles. It's no use going, as I said earlier, going to sleep for 8 hours and being restless, because your body is not getting into these deep sleep cycles when this glymphatic system engages and we cleanse our brain. And what that does is it stops these amyloid plaques building up in our brain, which cause dementia, Alzheimer's disease, migraine headaches, general fogginess and memory loss. Is all associated with that. So really, really important that we sleep to get that glymphatic system working well. So, exercise, stress, eating well, really, really important. They're the main pillars. And then there's different supplements you can use to induce a natural sleep. So we've got a range of different things that you can use to induce a natural sleep, so you're not groggy and you get a good night's sleep. And it's my number one priority in my health. Is everything I do during the day is focused on getting a good night's sleep, because I know how important it is. So read the other information that we've got here, articles, learn, prioritize sleep, because it really is the number one thing for your health. Because if you're not sleeping, you're really going to struggle, and your health's going to be in a negative decline all the time. Whereas if you get your your sleep in the right space, and you're getting adequate deep sleep and REM sleep, then you create the stage that you can actually start to perform from. Because if you don't do that, forget everything else. You're not going to perform. Your body's not going to be able to perform at the level it needs to be. But you've got to do all the right things to get to that. So it's a real circular thing. You can't just sleep well without doing all the wrong things. Alcohol is a massive killer on sleep quality. Sugar is a massive killer. Eating late is a massive killer. Not exercising enough, stress, all those things I mentioned are just critical for sleep health. So I hope that helps. Let us know if you've got any questions, and follow the information and try to get a good night's sleep.